So the band that I chose to look at was Nirvana because Nirvana had a huge impact on their fans and then the grunge scene. Um, so Nirvana's sound relied heavily on power chords and these low note guitar riffs. You can hear those elements in almost any of their songs. So it just has power chords and then the riffs of guitars. Like a lot of times you usually hear them in rock music. They're played a little bit higher, but they're really low and bassy in theirs. Um, this was also kind of on account of the fact that the lead singer and guitarist Kurt Cobain, he had no formal music training. He just played guitar by just making it up. So that's kind of why his strumming patterns were the way that it was. He just kind of made up things, and if they sounded good, they stuck. And then same with the riffs, he made them up, and if they sounded good, they just stuck. And then they brought on Dave Grohl as a drummer, which added a whole new dynamic to the group. I love Dave Grohl, so that's my personal bias. So his drumming was super intense and just entertaining to watch. He basically just hit the drums as hard as he could, and it was just a super hard hitting rock sound. Um, Nirvana's lyrics specifically are interesting to me because in most cases they just were completely made up nonsense. And usually Kurt Cobain wrote the lyrics minutes before recording the song. He would just write down some things or the general theme, and that's why a lot of them don't make a lot of sense, really. The lyrics he saw as the least important part of the song, and it's kind of characteristic of their group and their sound. It just their music was just filled with like angst, anger, and negativity. He uses that negativity to describe his own music. So, like he's like, let's just come up with some negative lyrics, and it overall just kind of stood for nothing specifically. Like usually there's a purpose or meaning behind the music, but the lyrics meant nothing. So I looked at their song Smells Like Teen Spirit, and you can hear all of those elements to it. Like the vocals are just screaming on the chorus. It's really literally just screaming. And then they have the hard hitting drums, and then you can hear the power chords on the guitar, and the lyrics make no sense, you know? And because of this, I think it's surprising how much their music meant to a lot of people. Um, because their lyrics weren't anything that anybody could relate to because they didn't have any meaning behind them. So in a way, I think Nirvana didn't relate to people's emotions with their lyrics, but just with the song and how it was set up itself. Because their following was mostly angsty teenagers, and they themselves were angsty teenagers, and there was angst in their lyrics. Like they were very negative, even if they had little meaning to them, and they didn't make much sense. But the way that they played and the way that they sang it was aggressive and angsty, and so I think that the mood of the song resonated with people more than the lyrics themselves did.